Evening guys, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long, but I figured I'd wait until I had actual footage to share with you. Managed to get the E36 out to a couple of events and have seemingly successfully learnt to drift basics and not yet crashed the car or blown it up, which is surprising. So I'll put some footage in of my first event at Wetpan. It did not go well for me because of my mistakes. Yeah, so I'll put the clip in and I'll comment on it at the end. So just watch it through and then listen to what I've got to say at the end as to why it sucked. It's very evident that I did very poorly. I know that I did poorly and it was solely because of my fault. Fortunately, after Wetpan, I went to Matsuri at Raleigh Raceway in the north coast of New South Wales, and it went absolutely perfectly for me. It was a beautiful event, great fun, and I've got more footage of that. So don't get disappointed because of the Wetpan. I know that I was disappointed because of it. Just wait until Matsuri footage comes through because it's much more entertaining to watch. But I thought I'd put it in anyway, just so you can see somebody go from having no skill to learning to drift. So, as you might have noticed, there was a lot of understeer in the car. It was really bad, solely because of my fault. In my haste to get ready, I got some wheels with tyres on from underneath the house, didn't look at them at all because I can't explain it, I just didn't. I put them on the car and I should have checked because one of them was 10 years old and the other one was 15 years old. They were very dry rotted, full of cracks, and the insides were bald. Not sure how I didn't notice it, but it led to me basically wasting my time at Wetpan because the car would not hold a slide because the front would just understeer no matter what I did. I was having to rip the handbrake multiple times in a corner just to try and hold the slide without the front just pushing away from it. As a result, I think I got maybe 4 runs at Wetpan before I just packed it in because it was just such a waste of time. And yeah, I didn't have I had a bit of fun, but not as much as I should have. For Matsuri prep, I changed a fair bit about the car, not too much, but enough to make it good and reliable, and a couple of setup changes as well. So for Matsuri, I set myself a series of goals. Like, first goal was to be able to hold a slide without spinning. Second goal was to initiate a slide smoothly. Third goal was to initiate a slide smoothly, hold the slide, and then transition into the next one. And then fifth was to start doing it smoothly. I achieved all the goals that I wanted to. The 5 that I set out for myself were beautiful. I'll put in some footage from starting from the start to the end, so you can see it in kind of chronological order. Not all of it's the best quality, but wait until the end, because the last clip was pretty awesome. We didn't film all of it because I was too busy having fun and being idiots rather than filming everything, but we got some, which was better than none.
Limiter. No. This S-bend in particular gets quite greasy. But I like greasy because, like, yes. And then, like, drive the MX-5 normally, like when I'm daily in it, and it's just like, gets a bit sluggish, gets a bit unhappy. Yeah. And it's like, go beat the piss out of it again. Works brilliantly. The handbrake just like didn't grip. This could be running out. Oh wow. boy. Fuck, that feels good.
So at the start, I was dragging the handbrake a lot. I know that I was. My tyres didn't last long because of it. That was solely because I found it easier to work on holding a slide rather than having to work out how to correctly initiate it. Because some people seem to think that you can only ever initiate with a clutch kick and anything else is garbage. But like, it was my first time. I'm just trying to learn, and I found it easier to start with. Throughout the event, I then started, instead of dragging the handbrake like with a long whoosh, I started going just a little dab of handbrake to get it going. And then to transition between slides going from left to right, I was using a bit of handbrake to keep it going. But then towards the end, as you saw in the last clip, that was no handbrake, no clutch kicks, nothing for transitions. That was solely just throttles, and then a lift and then back on it to keep it going. Yes, I was pumping the throttle. I was just seeing what happened. E36s naturally have a lot of toe in, so when you get on the throttle, they bite and drive forwards through it quite severely. Well, not severely, it's the wrong word, but they accelerate quite a lot. So I was trying to pump the throttle to try and keep it from driving forwards and just keeping like a nice soft slide going without accelerating too much. Obviously I got far too spicy at the end with the manjis. I'm still learning them, I'm not great at them. The fella who was driving behind me, who took that footage, Jake, he's somewhat of a veteran, so was coaching me. He said, hold the throttle flat to the floor and see what happens, and so I did, and I saw that I just couldn't drive out of it. The front end felt a little numb. I'm not sure if it's because of the eBay angle blocks or just because I'm not a good driver. I'm not a good driver yet, that probably is it. So I found it hard to kind of transition between them. I don't have very much caster either in the front end, so the self-steer isn't amazing. But a good driver would be able to drive out of it, so it's no excuse. I just have to improve. But yeah, huge fun. I went through all the tyres that I had. I drove the car and the trailer at the end of the event. About as good as it could have gone. Nothing really blew up, nothing broke. I dented a control arm, which I've got a new one to swap it with. I munched the drive shaft center bearing and the flex disc as well. But aside from that, it was all pretty good. So I've got to do wheel bearings, I've got to do the drive shaft stuff. I've got it booked in for a half cage as well, so I can get harnesses for the passengers so they aren't sliding around all over the place. And I'll put a bucket seat in for the passenger as well. Aside from that, I couldn't be happier. It was one of the best weekends I've ever had. It was tremendous fun. Lots of new friends, lots of new driving skill. Car performed great. I had a beautiful time. It was basically perfect. So the next one is in 6 weeks. So I've got to get all my shit ready for that and get out there and have more fun. From here, for me, once Matsuri's done, if I do all right at that, then I'll start turning the car up a bit and might try my hand at some competitions. Next Matsuri, my goals are to get manjiing down correctly to be able to like flick it back and forth on the straight. And I also need to work on proximity with tandems, because I obviously didn't do any tandeming because I wasn't good enough to try, really. So yeah, thanks for watching. I had a whale of a time and I'm gonna keep having fun.